Hi, I'm Simon Rushton and this is Taxi Chronicles Podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. On another note, I know you spoke about it before, but I'd like to hear that story of Djibouti, or like the audience. No, not Djibouti. What's the place? Kazakhstan.
About Azerbaijan.
And then
the hospitals and the hospitals. Yeah. This story all came about me having a drink with an Azerbaijani friend of mine who was complaining about the corruption in his country and saying he wished he lived in the UK because he thought we had no corruption here. And he was telling me, so this guy, he was telling me about there's so many different stories about things there. One of the stories was from the lovely taxi driver man who I met, who, unlike most taxi drivers in Azerbaijan, he was clearly educated, he spoke good English, he was a very nice guy, and I sort of commented that he didn't seem like most of the taxi drivers I met, and he said, oh no, he said, I'm a doctor, I'm a paediatrician, I work on healing kids, and I said, you know what, why are you not working as a doctor? I know this country's really short of paediatricians. And he explained that he'd come from Nagorno-Karabakh, which is the region that's occupied by Armenia and it's disputed, and it's a civil war, basically, it's a war. Not civil war, it's a war. And his village had been taken over and been bombed, and he and his family had to escape what little they had. And he told me about how he carried his grandmother until she died on his back, bless her. And he got to Baku, and his wife, I think he lost a leg, if I remember rightly, his kids had made the journey, and he went to the hospital because he knew that they were calling out for paediatricians, and he turned up and he said, I'm a paediatrician, I've come from Nagorno-Karabakh, and they said, yeah, that'll be $50,000 US, please. He said, what? And they said, if you want to get a job as a doctor here in this hospital, that will cost you $50,000 US. So he now works as a taxi driver and is trying to save $50,000 US, which is going to take about 10 lifetimes. But then there was my other friend who worked for the Hyatt, and she was telling me about how the health ministry had put in this thing there'd been some tuberculosis outbreaks, very small ones, but they brought in a law whereby everybody working in hospitality, and so that was, people working for the ladies who came to change your sheets in your room, and everybody working in any hotel chain or any hotel needed to have, I think it was annual, they needed to provide a chest x-ray to demonstrate that they were clear of TB, and they had to do it on a certain day per their contract, and if they failed to do it, the worker was fined, I think it was a month's wages, and they would lose their job, and the employer would be fined, I think it was a year of that employer's wages, it was a lot anyway, and it was for the sake of 50 quid to get this thing. And so I heard that apparently people were turning up at the hospital and they were saying, yeah, I've got to do my chest x-ray for my job. And they were like, okay, so when's that due? And they were like, oh, next week, Thursday. Oh, well, the thing is, the x-ray machine's broken at the moment. Maybe if you come back on Wednesday, we'll have it fixed. So they turn up on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm afraid the machine's still broken, but if you give us £200, I'm sure we can have it fixed by tomorrow. And so you've got this thing where you've got people who are already poor ripping off people who are even poorer, so they can pay their bribes to the next person above them in the food chain, and it goes all the way up to the ministers. But you see, out there it's open, and here we have the same deal, but it's a little more closed up.
Yes. Okay. So what other countries have you been to?
Oh mate, well, I was actually I was out in Mexico last, not this news, just got the news before, so being in 2019. And I was asked how many questions I've been to, what my country count was, and I was like, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. And the guys I was with, they're all younger than me, late 40s, and they were probably early 30s. And they were going, oh, you've got to know your country count, and it never occurred to me, so I started counting, and I made my only ever New Year's resolution that I think I'm going to stick to, which is to go to at least one new country every year for the rest of my life. And I've been to 52 countries so far.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, which should be a good goal.
That's good.
I think it's a good resolution.
No, it is. I've been to 54.
Good man.
But yeah, you probably spend a lot more nice time in the countries than I've spent.
Some places I have, some places I haven't. You know, we've got to also kind of find ways of defining it. And I was doing this with some friends. We all decided that if you just had done a transit through a country so well in Cannes, you have to have left the airport and actually broken bread and had a meal.
Yeah,
necessarily have to spend the night because you can go there for. I have friends who work in various businesses that will be flown out somewhere for a day for a big meeting or whatever. But I think if you actually left the airport and actually sat down and had a meal, to me that counts as having been to them. It doesn't count as having done that country because that's a horrible concept.
Or you've got a photo of a tourist place.
Yeah, or something.
Like
but you need to have done something. But yeah, so favourite countries is a bit like asking someone to choose between their kids. And I
always say that. Yeah.
What's your favourite when you kids off?
I always say, if people ask me what's my favourite, I say it depends on my mood.
Yeah.
If I'm in a happy, if I want to go and party, then I could say Ibiza from that's 24 years ago.
Yeah, we can all say Ibiza 24 years ago.
It'll be the younger you as well, isn't it? Yeah, the younger me as well, yeah. But then historically, I'm a construction graduate. I love history, I love architecture, antiquity. So that's a hard one because I appreciate Turkey's history with the Ottoman and the Hellenistic, and I also love the Mughal for the India, and there's lots South America with the Incas and Mayas. That's phenomenal. And those are countries I'll definitely go back to. And I actually want to travel South America.
Me too.
Me
too, really badly. I've been to Peru a couple of times, and I used to write and photograph for a wildlife magazine, and I was lucky enough to get to go to Peru twice with the magazine. Annoying because I was there for maybe a week and a half each time, but not really on my own, very much not on my own ticket, so I couldn't plan my own schedule. So I've been there twice, but there's things I've missed, the place I want to go. And the ancient civilization, the Moche and the Inca out there, blew me away, and the wildlife and the jungles. For me, it's impossible. And I find my childhood attachment to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka smells like home and it tastes like home, and it's a country I'm always so proud to introduce people to. And it will always be one of my first loves of travel was Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Peru and Colombia are two countries that went up there for all that. But then Mexico, I'm growing to love more and more each time I go there. China, I'm growing to love more and more each time I've been to.
Okay.
And then in Europe as well. So yeah.
With Sri Lanka, is that where you did tiger and elephant watching?
Not tigers, but elephants, leopards. Yeah, absolutely.
Sri Lanka is really green.
Yeah, really.
I was in Colombo. I've been to Colombo more times than I can remember due to the job.
Stuff,
but I used to. I wasn't passing
Next
through.
Next time you're there, eat at the Gallery Cafe and have their black pork curry.
I was going everywhere. I'd just come off the vessel, drop my stuff, have a shower, put on some fresh clothes, and then just call a tuk-tuk and say, just take me, tourist place, wherever. But I used to have gone TripAdvisor and seen what other people said and gone places. But it's nice all my travelling I've done more or less on my own or with people. I would like to have a go with kids or a partner or both.
I mean, I'm so grateful to my folks who for taking me on this thing at such a formative age. When I was out first time in Sri Lanka, I think I was 3 going on 4 or 5. So at that age where kids first start to be able to form kind of a long-term memory, and it's very interesting that I have distinct memories that my mum and dad didn't even know about. Some of them obviously are family stories that I've got from mum and dad, and they feel like a memory because they're so familiar. But there's a handful of them which I know are my own unique memories, and it made such a difference to me to be exposed to wild animals, to also, frankly, actually to be a white minority in a brown country. I'm sure made a huge difference to who I was as a person as well. But it gave me this it's given me this love of adventure and stuff that's new. Different tastes, different smells, different foods, different things. that I think will be with me forever. And it's, but this trip I've just come back to, which is European to Italy, it's all about, for me, it's all about something I've never eaten, something I've never been done, just new stuff. I find it makes me alive. And I think if I end up doing the same stale stuff over and over and over again in the same places, a little bit of me dies, really. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Have you had any...
We hope you liked that episode. Keeping in mind we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.